that isn't the answer. You've got to first establish, okay, well, is the episode that I'm putting out maybe on a weekly basis even good enough in my eyes? Is it a good, solid episode? Am I really making the effort, or am I just showing up and doing it on a whim? Because if that's the case, then quantity isn't going to solve your challenges. You need to improve your quality. So I think the first thing to do is make sure that you've got a really solid episode format. You're producing high quality episodes in the sense of you're preparing for the conversations, you're getting the best guests that you can, or you're presenting the best topics that you possibly can. And then thereafter, then you might want to start thinking about increasing quantity, and also making sure that you've got the time to do that as well, because of it's some work. You know how it is to produce a podcast. So realistically, if you go from doing that once or twice a week and then you times that by another 5 to 6, where depending on how many you go for, then you've got to make sure that you can maintain that. So I'd say that once I was maybe like a month in or so, I would say already after that, I was starting to see some traction, because of you probably already have some very loyal listeners, and podcast consumption is pretty kind of easy to do, right? A lot of people commute, a lot of people go to the gym, a lot of people listen to podcasts passively. So if you put more podcasts in front of them, they already like your show, firstly, they're going to listen to you. So if someone was only going to listen to you one time per week and you got 1 download, now you've got 7 downloads, because that same person is going to listen more and more. So you're giving more to your audience, first things first, and then thereafter, you've got more opportunities to make an episode that really connects with someone, right? If you do it weekly, you got 52 opportunities to make an impact on someone in a year. If you do it daily, I don't encourage people to do this forever. It's pretty unsustainable, but you got 365 opportunities to impact someone. So it's more likely that you are going to impact someone sooner. Then they share it with their friend, and then, off the back of, or they share it on their social media or whatever that might be. And then all of a sudden you have more and more people coming your way because you are creating more episodes. And also what was beautiful, and this is a really good point to notice, is there was less pressure. If I create an episode that I didn't love, it was like, perfect, I can just create another one tomorrow. So I could go and do things that I wouldn't usually do. So an episode on commenting on Victoria Beckham's diet, for example, for me wouldn't be the one episode that I wanted to put out for the week. But when I knew another one was coming tomorrow, I could give my thoughts on current events. And that allowed me to have a little less pressure, a little bit more fun with the type of episodes that I wanted to produce. So I think there's a lot of value to doing it, but you do have to make sure that your quality is there and you've got a system in place that will allow you to maintain that, because there's no point saying you can commit to daily and then you miss a day, you miss a week, and then you end up burning yourself out, because of that can definitely happen too.
Yes, it is. You got to watch out all of that, the burnout stuff, and but one thing I will say, the daily or the higher quantity allows you to everything becomes clearer in terms of direction, and and I think sometimes people get stuck in what their idea is going to be, and trying to make everything perfect. But when you just ramp things up and just start going regularly every day, you start to get a real feel for what you want to do, and
Absolutely.
you just execute. That's my tip. And if people are talking, they want to talk to somebody about getting into podcasting and they're scared, they have no idea, because there's a lot of technical challenges. There's a lot of things that they need to learn. And what's the process if they get in touch with you? They're coming to get you, Elliot, under the bed. No, just kidding. Well, what's the process? How do you work with people, and what can they expect?
Yeah, so the best place to start, if you just want to come into my world a little bit more, is, I really have to run. They are going to get me. But the best place to get started on that front is I would say, head over to my Instagram page or my YouTube channel. Both of those have a lot of tips and tricks in which you can implement. And I think it's going to be a good place to head over. That's the Podcast Growth Coach. And the idea behind that is just to get to know me a little bit better and see if my tips resonate with you. And I hope they do. And then the idea of working with myself, it depends on the stage in which you are at in your journey. If you're in the launching phase, you're wanting to get started, then we have something covered for you on that. We have a comprehensive coaching program and course in which you can go on.